Yo, what is going on? It's your boy Austin from Bring Yo A Game. As always, I'm with Amar Burton, but first, before he introduces himself, you can catch me on Twitter at Austin Snyder90, TikTok at Austin Snyder509, and Facebook at Austin Snyder, AUSTINSNYDER, as it will show on the screen. Amar, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let the beautiful people out there know what is going on with this little short mini episode?
Okay, what's up, everybody? You can find me at Amar underscore 206 on Instagram and Twitter. Also, find me on Facebook at Amar Burton. So what we're doing, we did the first version of this we did last week. So we're back for number two this week. Just a little like mini, just a little one segment, kind of like a mini episode to bring your A game. I'm just calling it "What Would You Do?" And what we're going to do here is just one topic, two sides. Yeah, one topic, two opinions. Just going to bring up a question. And it's just going to be like, what would you do? I'll ask Austin what he's going to do. I'll let you know what I would do. And then we're going to pose the question to y'all. Like, you can leave your comments on the video or, on the, wherever you listen to the podcast and just tell us what you think. So, Super Bowl 55's in the books. Tampa Bay beat Kansas City 31-9, probably less competitive than anybody would have imagined. But
that was horrible. It was. Keep in mind, folks, Amar and I specifically chose to do this after the Super Bowl because the hopes was that we were going to have that the Super Bowl is going to live up to what we all wanted and what we all anticipated, and that there was going to be some like down to the wire last minute coaching decision that needed to be made by either the Chiefs or the Buccaneers that was going to decide the outcome of this game. Instead, it was just a constant flow of disappointment from the Chiefs and utter and complete domination by the Buccaneers. In case you didn't know or hear, we're living under a rock or one of those people who takes pride in sport. I don't watch sports. Why do I care about men in balls? You're one of those types, which I don't imagine you'd be watching the show if that was the case.
I think
But if you are one of those types, then the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs 31-9, keeping Patrick Mahomes out of the end zone, throwing two interceptions in the process. It was absolutely the worst games of Mahomes' career, of this Chiefs career, everything else. And then on the flip side, we also saw the Buccaneers, who everything clicked into place. They could not miss. You had Rob Gronkowski catching two touchdowns, and he had a great game. He was flying all over the field. Antonio Brown caught a touchdown. Leonard Fournette ran for a touchdown. And it was kind of funny, Antonio Brown came in here halfway through the season, and yeah, I mean, really kind of made the right choice to slip in and put a ring on his finger. So, which I guess in a way kind of leads us into our question today, right? Or tonight, right, Amar?
Yeah, it was funny. Like last week, the question was, what would the Pats do, or the Pats? what would the Bucks do if the game came down to the wire? And it was like ended up being, I think, the only important late game decision that had to be made was Andy Reid. Like, do I want to leave Pat Mahomes out here and get him hurt?
Right.
Or am I going to sit my like $500 million guy and protect
and that honest, and that's one thing that a lot of people got to think about too. Kind of. I know we're going to get into our question here in just a minute, but I just got to say it is crazy to me how much people are starting to talk down on Pat Mahomes, saying that they're not believing in him. I knew he wasn't on track to be the GOAT. I knew he wasn't this. I knew he wasn't that. Blah, 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 blah. Get real, people. That dude played his heart out. He made some amazing throws. He ran for 497 yards before throwing the football, just running away from defenders. They lost basically all of their starters. They had a guy who was starting his first game with had very little playing time before that, but starting his first game ever in the Super Bowl, the most important game of his life. Um, it's just ridiculous, and not only that, but Pat Mahomes is getting folded up like an accordion left and right. He was just getting smushed between two and three, 250, 300-pound defensive linemen and linebackers on a regular basis, and he just kept getting up. If anything, Pat Mahomes like showed me even more why like he is absolutely a legend in the making and will for sure be a Hall of Famer. And when it's all said and done, his resume will at least put him in the conversation for greatest of all time. But get into our question then, Amar.
All right, so this week, okay. So what would you do now for this hypothetical? Let's say you are a NFL like role player, like you're a career role player, right? So maybe you start, maybe you back up, but like you're not a Pro Bowler, you're not a quarterback, you're not a receiver, like you're, let's say like you're a lineman, you're on defense, like that kind of guy, right? So being that type of player, would you rather win multiple Super Bowls in which you contribute, but you don't necessarily make a huge mark? Or would you rather win one Super Bowl in your career and you win Super Bowl MVP? What would you do?
So personally, I would say one Super Bowl. I would just take the one Super Bowl MVP, and I would be totally okay with that. And the biggest reason being is that one, we've watched guys like that, that are in some of those positions that aren't as glamorous or what. I mean, most of the guys that win that award are in somewhat glamorous positions, especially being quarterbacks and everything. But I mean, I'm talking like we've watched the Malcolm Smiths, win Super Bowl MVP, a guy who played a weak side linebacker. And for those of you who don't know, your weak side linebacker typically, I may be getting that mixed up. I think Will is your weak side. Your will backer. If I'm getting that mixed up, you guys gotta forgive me. But anyways, your will backer is a guy who plays like at least 30 or 40% less snaps than like the other linebackers, and the biggest reason being is because he's like the guy that you bring in on pass rush situations, running situations, and like in general, the Seahawks for in this scenario here, they run with Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright, and then they'll run like a lot of nickel if they need be. So Malcolm Smith gets yanked off the field, but he still had a big enough impact in the biggest game of his entire life to like be able to play well enough and win that coveted award that not only have we seen role players like that win, but we've also seen the best of the best. Tom Brady being our latest example, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you just put yourself in that like at least it's something like that you can hang your hat on, and we've watched guys make careers just from that award. Deion Branch, again, Malcolm Smith went and signed a contract with the Raiders after winning that award. Deion Branch went and, the Seahawks gave him a crap ton of money. And we've watched other guys do the same thing. So I think by winning it one time, you get to experience the love and the joy of the thing that we all sit in our backyards with as kids imagining. And then to be considered the best player on the biggest stage and win that award and be able to be on that podium with the owner and the other faces of the franchise, etc., and hold up that MVP trophy, that's got to be just something else, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure in the like on the flip side to this scenario, it's probably cool to be able to be in that situation multiple times and have all those Super Bowl rings, etc. But like they ain't put no 53 guys on that podium at the end of the game. You know what I mean? And so that's reserved for your face of the franchise, your ownership, your coach, that's a small stage. So it's just you're just at that point. If you're on the flip side of this, you're just that guy that's kind of enjoying the celebrations. But I would much rather be the guy that's being celebrated. So that's how I gotta go. I'd have to say Super Bowl MVP, one Super Bowl trophy, and totally fine with that.
Okay. And just to add, I guess, more context, the type of player we're talking about for like the multiple Super Bowl winner with no MVP, this is it's not like, the backup punter or, the guy that just plays special teams or the practice squad guy. I'm talking like you're like a contributor, you might be a starter. One guy that comes to mind, I mean, Roman Pfeiffer. He played like linebacker for the Patriots. He won 3 Super Bowls. But other than that, never was like a Pro Bowler. He's never like a star in the league, right? But he has those
Right.
3 rings. Or, if you were like the
He used
lineman
to
they
be my
had,
favorite linebacker to use on NFL 2K5.
was Roman
I would
Pfeiffer.
use it. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah,
I mean,
loved it.
that's his second claim to fame after the 3 Super Bowls. It's like
Right
Austin's favorite linebacker to use on the game.
on 2K5. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Stephen Neal, he played O line for those Patriots teams. Like again, 3-time Super Bowl champ, but never a Pro Bowler, but he was a starter, right? So we're talking about
Right.
that level of guy
David
versus
Carr winning a Super Bowl with who was it with the Giants as
yeah,
Eli's backup, never
right,
seeing a single snap all season.
right. Versus somebody like Dexter Jackson. He was like a safety for the first Buccaneer Super Bowl team. He role player. Wasn't a Pro Bowler, wasn't a star, but he's got that one Super Bowl and he got that one Super Bowl MVP. And then, like Austin pointed out, Malcolm Smith. So these are the type of players we're talking about. Far as what I would do, and it's funny, like I've been in both scenarios, and I'm not talking about obviously on the NFL Super Bowl level. We're talking in my illustrious athletic career spanning little league to high school and then nothing until adult rec leagues later on, right? I've been
Right.
on I've been on
So you can say
champion
you've been there before.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
really,
Yeah, like I've been
yeah,
on like a championship
yeah. You
team
could
where
really give this
I
from a
was just
better
yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like I've been on like a championship team where I was just one of the guys on the team.
Right.
Um and also, been like one things where, I got like a kind of individual honor, right? Like this is going back to my little league football championship where I was like defensive MVP of the game, right? So
Right.
yeah, I've been there, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Absolutely.
um I would like Austin. I would take the Super Bowl MVP and the one Super Bowl. I think having left that mark on history. I mean, someone like Roman Pfeiffer, he'll be known by, I think, fans of his team that he won with.
Right.
Like locally famous. You know what I mean? Like Patriots fans will always remember him and appreciate him and that kind of thing.
Yep.
I think someone, like Malcolm Smith or Dexter Jackson, like they go on this really exclusive list of people
Right.
who have won Super Bowl MVP. And that's something that, yeah, you can kind of build your legacy on and hang your hat on. And, when you're done playing and it's time to do these like autograph signings and things like that, you always have that, Super Bowl MVP, you know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, they'll
if
always be Super Bowl MVP Dexter
mhm,
Jackson, Super
yeah,
Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith. That will be
right.
their just like the president will always be considered, president this, president that. They will always be given that title. Same thing
Mhm.
with the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, and then on the same token, I mean, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Austin
Right.
Snyder. I mean, yeah, you can flash those 3 rings, and that you have that going for you. But I just feel like having that trophy that only a select few players in history have,
Right.
um, at the expense of a couple more years of like a team accomplishment. I mean, you can call me individualistic or selfish or whatever, but I think I would take that honor. Like, I think that's the way to go for me. Like, just
Yeah, I don't.
you had that one moment that one day when everybody was
Right.
watching and you stood out and you were, the best player on the field, or you made the most impactful plays, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I mean that's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't see how you could go any other way. Like Amar and I were talking before we started this little episode here. Um, and just in my local area, one of the football coaches for my high school team, Ed Simmons from the Washington Redskins era when they won their 3 championships, I mean, yeah, he was on that team, and he wears the rings and all of that stuff, and that's cool. I think that's amazing because it's still something that he's got that local celebrity, and it's something that can never be taken away from him. That we will always see, you know what I mean, or that he can always hang his hat on to some extent, but. I think if you asked him this question, he definitely would have loved to be on that center stage and holding that Super Bowl MVP trophy
Mhm.
and saying, because guess what? At the end of the day, he'll still be a local celebrity wherever he goes. So, yeah, I don't see how you don't pick it.
Mhm.
But for those of you who are watching this, hopefully you have already subscribed and hit that little bell to have to be notified every time a video gets posted up. But if you haven't, please do that. Hit that little thumbs up, bing, like it or subscribe to it, and then drop your comment below. Let Amar and I know what you think. Join the conversation, and until next time.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't really have like an outro on this one.
Well, yeah, yeah. This should be, this little kind of mini episode should be dropping on Wednesdays. And then later this week, we're going to have a full episode to Bring Your A Game, where Austin, Dylan, and myself are going to be breaking down the Super Bowl. And then, moving on, talking about some NBA, baseball coming up. So look out for that. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed this short little thing, little episode we did right here. And we will be back in a few days to talk to all y'all.
We'll go out like this. What would you do? You do, you do, you.